name's Kimi. I'm one of the yoga instructors here at Anita Hot Yoga. I will be leading you through a 60-minute slow flow class today. We will be focusing on opening up our shoulders and doing a little bit of a heart opener. So props that you might want, if you have blocks at home, you might want to have them close by. And definitely you'll want to use a strap just for the beginning of practice. If you don't have a strap, you could use a belt or something that is long and something that you can hold on to. So you don't need it, but it is really helpful as we work on opening up our shoulders today. So if you don't have it, again, no worries, but it will certainly be helpful. Excuse my dog. So why don't we get started? We'll start in Hero's Pose, Virasana. I'm going to take a seat on a block. I'm going to shimmy it in between my ankles. I'll turn around so you can see. But I will be sitting on a block just because we are here for a while, and my knees get tired pretty quickly. Hey, listen, stop. So shimmy the block in between your ankles if you so choose, and maybe have your strap close by. And we'll get settled in. So in Virasana, shins parallel, all 10 toes extending towards the back edge of your mat, sitting nice and tall. Let's roll the shoulders away from the ears, broaden across the collarbones, and take a few moments to settle in. So beginning to quiet the mind and quiet the body. And just take a moment to check in, notice any thoughts you might be having, or any distractions, feelings, emotions. And let's see if we can start to turn it off, either by saying the word in as you inhale, and the word out as you exhale. Or if you want to set an intention for your practice, you could do that. Something that's going to help motivate you to stay in it when the mind starts to wander, the body starts to get tired, what's going to help bring your focus back to your practice. And we'll begin today's practice with a pranayama exercise, 3-part breath. And the whole purpose of pranayama is to start to cultivate your mind-body connection. So as we move through our breath work, try to be mindful of any physical sensations that come up for you, mental sensations, emotional sensations. And when you're ready, let's completely empty out all the stale air in our lungs. Let it all out. When you inhale, fill just the bottom third of your lungs and pause. Inhale to fill the middle third of your lungs and pause. And then inhale, fill all the way up to the base of the throat, pause at the top. And then through the nose, exhale, release your throat, your chest, and completely empty out the lungs. And then again, inhale, fill just the bottom third of your lungs and pause. Inhale to fill the middle third of your lungs and pause. And inhale, fill all the way up to the base of the throat, pausing at the top. And then again, exhale, release your throat, neck, shoulders, chest, belly, and completely empty out the lungs. So do a few more rounds of 3-part breath, taking breaks in your inhalations each third of the way up. And as you do, just notice any subtle changes you might be experiencing in the mind, and in the body, and obviously in the breath. And then when you're ready, we'll reverse the action. So base of your next exhale, we'll take a nice deep full breath in, pausing at the top, staying full. And then this time, exhale, release the top third of your lungs and pause. And exhale to release the middle third of your lungs and pause. And again, exhale to completely empty out the lungs. So do a few more rounds of 3-part breath, taking breaks in your exhalations each third of the way down. And again, noticing physical sensations, emotional, mental sensations that come up for you. And then whenever it feels good for you, you can come back to your natural breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. If you'd like to add your Ujjayi pranayama, you could do that. So adding a little restriction to the back of your throat as you exhale. And we'll just take a few more rounds of breath to settle in. Maybe notice if the body is starting to get tired. Maybe the knees are starting to get tired. Maybe the back is starting to slouch. See if you can come back to that nice seated posture. And if you'd like, you can keep your eyes closed or maybe gently blink your eyes open and we'll get started. So find your strap, make sure it's close by. Before we get started, we'll just do a couple of shoulder rolls. So taking the shoulders up towards the ears, sending them towards the back of the room, and then rolling the shoulders forward and back up. And then start to reverse the direction, so rolling the shoulders forward. And then let's just do one big shoulder roll. So shoulders up to the ears, send them towards the back, and then release them down towards the tailbone. So we're giving this nice long neck, and then find your strap. So taking the strap over your right shoulder, take the right arm up to the ceiling, flip the palm, bend the elbow, tap the shoulder. Notice the arm might want to stay here if the shoulders are really tight. So you can get the elbows up towards the ceiling, wrapping the triceps forward. Left arm goes out to the side, flip the palm, bend the elbow, grab a hold of your hand. If your hand isn't available, your hands can grab a hold of your strap or your belt or whatever it is you're holding on to. See if you can roll this left shoulder open. It wants to kind of come forward, especially if we're feeling really tight. So see if you can get a nice roll of the left shoulder open. You should be feeling a stretch in the right tricep, left shoulder, and breathe. Be mindful that you're not puffing the chest up. See if you can soften the front ribs, tailbone is nice and heavy. A few more breaths. Preparing our shoulders for some of the heart openers that we'll be doing today. 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, carefully releasing the hands from the straps, take them to the thighs. You can roll the shoulders forward and back. And then we'll switch sides. So taking your strap to the other shoulder. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Left arm goes up to the ceiling. Flip the palm, bend the elbow, tap the shoulder. Remember, make sure you're not doing a little arm crunch. You want to wrap the tricep forward, elbow up towards the ceiling. Right arm out to the side. Flip the palm, bend the elbow. Again, grab a hold of your hands. If your hands aren't available, that's okay. You've got the strap there for you to hold on to. And again, let's roll the right shoulder open and keep the left elbow up to the ceiling. I'm not sure if my computer is going to flip it or if it's going to be mirrored. So if I'm cueing left and it's really the right, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what it's going to do. So thanks for your patience. Good. So a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, carefully release the hands from the strap. You can take your strap to the side. We won't need it for a while. And again, hands to the thighs. You can roll the shoulders forward and back. And then we'll come on forward to our tabletop, hands and knees. So if you're sitting on a block, you can move the block to the side. And then come on forward to your hands and knees tabletop. So let's take hands directly underneath the shoulders, a little micro bend in the elbows. Knees are directly underneath the hips. Just do a couple rounds of cat-cow here. So inhaling to lengthen the heart forward. We're finding a little bend in the back. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, so we want to reach that heart forward a lot. And then exhale, round the back, sweep up the belly, push the floor away with the palms. And again, inhale to reach the heart forward. And exhale to round. Good, so let's do a few more rounds of cat-cow, moving with the breath. Feel free to add whatever extra movement feels right for you. Maybe that's rolling up the neck and shoulders, circling the hips, barrel rolling the spine. Again, whatever feels right for you as you start to wake up your body. And then let's come to a nice neutral spine. Back is flat, belly is engaged. Shimmy the right leg behind you, and then make sure your back isn't arching, so we want to pull the belly in. And then see if you can lift the right leg up. And then reaching the left arm forward, we're getting nice and long. So heel is extending back, crown of the head is reaching forward. And then inhale, let's get a little bit longer. Exhale, round, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Inhale to get long and reach. And then exhale to round. Good. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to round. Next one, inhale to get long, stay here. Or see if you can bend the leg, grab a hold of the foot, kick your foot into your hand. That leg's naturally going to start to lift a little higher. You're going to start to feel a little stretch in the right quadricep and a little bend in the back. And again, let's roll the left shoulder open, reach the heart forward, try to broaden across the collarbones a lot, and breathe. Get familiar with how this feels in your body and in your mind. We're going to be here again later in a different variation several times throughout practice. Inhale, reach the arm and leg long, and then exhale, hands and knees tabletop. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale to round. One more time. Inhale to reach the heart forward. And exhale to round. I'm sorry, my husband's locked out of the house, and so he's trying to sit. And let's find a nice flat back. We'll switch sides. So left leg goes back. Pull the belly in, lift the left leg up. See if you can reach the right arm forward. Inhale to get long. Exhale, round elbow to knee to elbow. Again, inhale to get long. And then exhale to round. Good, one more time like that. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale to round. Next one, inhale, get long. Stay here. See if you can maybe bend the left leg, grab a hold of the foot. Think about kicking your foot into your hand. Knee is going to lift a little higher. Quadriceps going to start to turn on. And try to roll the shoulders away from the ears and broaden across the collarbones. 2 more breaths. Inhale to extend the arm and leg long. And then exhale, hands and knees. 2 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to reach the heart forward. Exhaling to round. 1 more time. Inhale, reach the heart forward. And exhale to round. Good. Let's come to a nice neutral spine. Inhale to reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, wrap underneath the body. Stack the right shoulder underneath the left. Push the floor away with the left hand. Shift your hips an inch to the right. Option to stay here. Otherwise, see if you can take the left arm up to the ceiling, flip the palm, bend the elbow, wrap the arm around the lower back. We're going to start to open up that left shoulder again. And breathe. And then when you're ready, left hand comes back down to the mat. Slowly unwind, we'll switch sides. So again, neutral spine. Inhale, let's reach the left arm up. Exhale to wrap it underneath the body. Stacking the left shoulder underneath the right. Pushing the floor away with the right hand. Shifting our hips a little bit to the left. And again, maybe stay here. Maybe take the right arm up. Flip the palm. Bend the elbow. Wrap it around the lower back. Let's roll the right shoulder open a lot and breathe. Two more breaths. And then we'll unwind. So right hand comes back down to the mat. Slowly unwind. 2 rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling to reach the heart forward. Exhaling to round. 1 more time. Inhale, reach the heart forward. And exhale to round. Good. So let's come to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes onto the mat, start to lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So first down dog of the day, feel free to keep a nice deep bend in the knees, pedal the feet, whatever feels right for you as you start to wake things up. And then inhale, shift up forward to your high plank. So we're going to have to adjust the hands and feet. Hands stay underneath the shoulders, feet stay hips distance apart. Pull the belly in, tailbone should be lengthening towards the backs of the knees. Leave the hands and feet there as you start to lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, walk your feet to your hands, coming to a forward fold, Uttanasana. So big bend in the knees, crown of the head is releasing down. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, maybe gently sway side to side. And then let's find some stillness in the body. Release the hands down to the ground and very slowly, 1 vertebra at a time, ragdoll on up to stand. Head is the very last to come up. Maybe let's do a few shoulder rolls forward and back when we get there. Couple rounds of sun salutation A just to warm up the body a little bit more. So let's come to the top edge of the mat, feet either together or hips distance apart, whatever feels right for you. Lift your toes, root through the points of your feet, and then spread the toes nice and widely onto the mat. Engage your thighs so the kneecaps start to lift up without locking the knees. Lengthen the tip of the tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Standing tall, crown of the head is reaching up to the ceiling. We roll the shoulders away from the ears, broaden across the collarbone, send energy through the fingertips. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reaching the arms up, Uttita Hastasana, fingertips touch if you want. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step on back to your high plank. Inhaling to shift on forward, exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck the toes, inhale to reach the heart forward, try to roll the shoulders, broaden the collarbones, hug the elbows in towards the body. And then exhale, lower the chest, tuck the toes. Inhale, reverse your Chaturanga, high plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths here. And then when you're ready, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze your hands, step, hop, float forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, Uttita Hastasana, energy in the arms as you reach the fingertips up. And then exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step or float back as you lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, low cobra, or you can move on to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. If you're in upward facing dog, the only thing touching the mat should be palms of hands, tops of feet. Everybody roll the shoulders, broaden the collarbones wherever you decide to be. And then exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. And then again, base of your exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze to your hands, step, hop, float forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, reaching the arms up, Uttita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Good, last round, inhale, Uttita Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step or float back as you lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to find your back bend of choice, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Good, crescent pose. Inhale, right leg goes up. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Again, inhale to lift it up. Exhale to shift it forward. One more time, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, shift forward, plant your foot in between the palms, and then inhale, reach the arms up, crescent pose, high lunge. So let's get nice and long in the spine, deep in the front leg. You're pressing through the ball of the left foot. Stay here if this feels good for you. Otherwise, let's open up the arms, interlace the hands behind the back. Knuckles are going to start to lengthen towards the floor behind us. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, broaden across the collarbones. Inhale, we get longer through the arms and spine. Exhale, maybe lift the arms a little bit higher and breathe. Inhaling to reach the arms back up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Right foot goes back to meet your left. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling to find the back bend. Exhaling, hips up and down. And we'll do the other side. So inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Again, inhale to lift it up. And then exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. One more time, inhale to lift. Exhale, shift, plant your foot, reach the arms up for crescent pose. And again, deep bend in the left leg, pressing through the ball of the right foot. Stay here if this feels good for you. Otherwise, see if you can open up the arms, interlace the hands, knuckles are lengthening down. Inhale, we get longer. Exhale, arms lift a little higher. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Left foot goes back, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, back bend of choice. Again, low cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog, and then Balasana, child's pose. So lowering the knees down to the mat, knees slightly wider than the hips, hips heavy towards the heels. Fingertips are lengthening towards the front edge of the mat. See if you can press the palms down so that the elbows lift up. But relax the shoulders away from the ears. Couple of breaths here. All right, when you're ready, hands and knees tabletop. So if you have a block at home, maybe take the block in between the thighs so that most of the block is shooting up behind you. Because we're going to make our way onto our stomach. So if the block is peeping out in front of you, it's just going to get a little awkward really quickly. Walk your hands about a hand forward, shift your weight forward, and then lower down all the way onto the stomach. So we're making our way up into our locust pose series and or bow pose. It's your choice. So reaching the toes towards the back of the mat, make sure you're squeezing in on the block. Arms extend overhead. Locust pose, Shalabhasana. Inhale, we get long through the body. So crown of the head is reaching forward, toes are reaching back. Exhale, arms, legs, chest lift off of the mat. We're squeezing in on the block. Inhale, let's get a little bit longer. Exhale, arms come by the hips. Roll the shoulders and broaden across the collarbones. Shalabhasana, locust pose. And breathe. So it's not about how high you lift your chest. Focus instead on lengthening the spine first, and the lift will happen naturally. 2 more breaths. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Bend the elbows, stack the forearms, lower everything down. Head can rest on the hands. Second round, arms extend overhead. Inhale to get long. Exhale, squeeze the block, arms, legs, chest lift up. Inhale, we get longer. Exhale, hands by the hips. Shalabhasana, locust pose. And breathe, noticing thoughts, physical sensations. This is a very energizing pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, stack the forearms, lower everything down. Rest your head in your hands. So option to stay in locust pose where we just were at. Otherwise, option to move on to Dhanurasana with our legs bent. So when you're ready, arms extend overhead. Inhale, get long. Exhale, arms, legs, chest lift up. Inhale, we get longer. Exhale, airplane the arms. Stay here or grab a hold of your feet. Squeeze the block, kick your feet in your hands. Dhanurasana, bow pose. So you should be feeling this in the quads. Definitely a little bend in the back. A few more breaths. Squeeze the block if you've got it in between the thighs. Inhale, extend the arms and legs long. And then exhale, fold it, lower it all down. Good, last round. So option to stay in locust pose, option to move on to Dhanurasana. So wherever you're at, arms extend overhead. Inhale, squeeze the block, get long, arms, legs, chest lift up. Exhale, hands by the hips, stay here, or bend the legs, grab a hold of the feet, Dhanurasana, and breathe. Inhale, extend the arms and legs long, and then exhale, lower it down. Alrighty, hands come underneath the shoulders, slowly press on up tabletop. Lose the block if you've got it. You can move it to the side. Coming back to that tabletop twist. Inhale to reach the arm up. Exhale, wrap it under. After we bend the back, it's always wise to twist it. Just kind of helps to neutralize it. And then slowly unwind. Switching sides. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale to wrap it under. And then slowly unwind. Make sure you have your block close by if you're going to use it towards the top edge of your mat, and we'll use it for sun salutation B. Tucking the toes onto the mat, lifting our hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, you can lift your heels, bend your knees, step, hop, float forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to reach the arms up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. For sun salutation B, we're going to, excuse me, open up the shoulders a little bit more. We will be doing crescent pose again, but this time with a block in our hands to help open up the shoulders a little bit more. So top edge of the mat, feet hips distance apart. Surya Namaskar B, sun salutation B. Inhale to bend the knees, shift your hips back, Utkatasana. So a couple of things. You should be able to look down at your feet and see all 10 toes. If you can't see all 10 toes, your knees are too far forward. You got to shift your weight back a little bit into the heels. Be mindful that you're not arching the back. Try to soften the front ribs, pull the belly in, reach the arms forward. Inhale, get long. Exhale, airplane the arms. Roll the shoulders, reach the fingertips back. And then again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to airplane the arms. Reaching the heart forward, rolling the shoulders open. One more time. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, hands by hips. Next one, inhale to reach it forward. Exhale to forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step or float back as you lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Untucking the toes, inhale, heart forward for your low cobra Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Crescent pose, we're jumping right into it. Inhale, plant your foot forward, grab the block if you've got it. Reach the arms up, crescent pose, high lunge. We're going to do a little shoulder exercise here. So keeping a deep bend, I'll mirror you so it doesn't get confusing. Keep a deep bend in that front knee. Squeeze the block. Right away, you're going to feel the triceps turn on. Inhale, we get a little longer. Exhale, keep the elbows where you have it as you start to bend the elbows. You're going to feel the triceps lengthen, shoulders are opening up a little more. Inhale, arms up. Squeeze the block. Try to change the shape of the block with your hands as you exhale and bend. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, reach it up. Keep going. Exhale, squeeze and bend. Next one, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, squeeze, bend. Hold the block about elbow height. Squeeze the squeeze the elbows in and breathe. So elbows should be shooting up to the ceiling. Be mindful that you're not puffing. Remember, soften the front ribs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Lose the block. Plant the palms. Right foot goes back. Take a little vinyasa or just go straight to downward facing dog. Up to you. And then we'll do the left side, jumping right into crescent pose. Inhale, plant your foot, grab your block, reach the arms up. Squeezing the block with the arms, triceps are turning on. And then exhale, squeeze, bend the elbows, hug the elbows in. So remember, make sure you're not doing crunches with the arms. Keep those elbows in, triceps forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squeeze, changing the shape of the block as you bend the elbows. 2 more times just like that. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, squeeze and bend. Next one, we're going to hold it halfway. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squeeze, bend, hold here, and breathe. So again, triceps should be on. Shoulders should be opening up. We're not puffing the chest. We're softening the front ribs and breathing. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Take the block down to the mat. Left foot goes back to meet your right. Take your vinyasa. Or go straight to downward facing dog. Good. Lifting the heels, bend the knees, gaze to the hand step, hop, float forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half fold. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, shift the hips back, Utkatasana. Second round, exhale, airplane the arms. Inhale to reach the arms forward. Exhale to airplane the arms. One more time just like that. Inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, airplane the arms. Next one, inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, plant your palms, step or float back as you lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to find your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, that crescent pose series right here. Inhale, right leg goes up, and then you plant your foot, grab the block, and reach the arms up. Exhale, squeeze as you bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Again, exhale, squeeze and bend, hug those elbows in. Inhale to reach the arms up. Two more times. Inhale, bend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, arms up. Next one, exhale, squeeze, hold, and squeeze at the halfway point and breathe. Can we get the elbows to point up to the ceiling a little bit more without letting them open up any further? Two more breaths. Inhale, arms up. Plant the palms. Lose your block if you've got it. Right foot goes back. Lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to find your back bend. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, left side. Planting the foot on your inhale, grabbing the block, reaching the arms up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to squeeze. Two more times. Inhaling to reach it up. Exhale, squeeze. Next one, we're going to hold it at the halfway point. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squeeze and hold. So again, elbows up towards the ceiling, hugging them in towards each other. Triceps wrapping forward and breathe. Good. Inhale, arms up to the ceiling. Plant your palms. Left foot goes back. Take your vinyasa. Or go straight to down dog. Up to you. And again, we'll meet in Balasana, child's pose. If your shoulders are needing a little break, you could always take the arms by the side body. Perfectly fine. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale out. Two more times, full breath in. Open mouth, exhale out. Last time, full breath in. And exhale it all out. So come back to your breath, back to your intention. We're going to move on to our next little portion. Hands will come underneath the shoulders to press yourself up to sit. Shift your hips to one side and slide your legs out in front of you. So I'm just going to scoot to face you all at home. Your choice. You could do Baddha Konasana or Upavishta Konasana. We're just going to open up the hips before we get down onto our backs. So sitting nice and tall, legs straight, feet flexed. Crossing the right arm over the body. Roll the shoulder gaze to the right. And then when you're ready, bring it center, right arm up to the ceiling. Flip the palm, bend the elbow, grab a hold of the tricep as you side bend to the left. And then we'll come back to center. So left arm over the body, roll the shoulder gaze to the left. And then bring it center. Left arm up, flip the palm, bend the elbow, side bend to the right. And then bring it center. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, forward fold any amount. And then when you're ready, slowly come on up. Use your hands to help bring the legs together. Legs straight, feet flex, sitting tall. Release the flesh from underneath your sit bones. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, grab a hold of your feet. If your feet aren't available, you can always find your strap. Shimmy the strap underneath your feet. Bring your feet to you. Right away, feeling a nice stretch into the hamstrings and into the lower back. So get familiar with how this feels in your body for when we get to plow pose later. It's going to be similar sensation in the lower back and in the hamstrings, but it will also be a little shoulder opener. Few more breaths. And then slowly release your foot, strap whatever you're holding on to, move it to the side. We're spending the rest of practice on our backs. We are going to do bridge pose and or Urdhva Dhanurasana, so upward facing wheel pose. And then we will finish out with some twists and a little bit of shoulder plow pose and shoulder stand. I'll show you how to do shoulder stand at the wall, so if you're at home and you want to use a modification, I will show you how to get there later. So just know that we're pretty much on our backs for the rest of practice. So scooting ourselves forward so that when we recline down onto our backs, we're still on our mat. Hold lightly behind the thighs and slowly start to lower yourself down. Hug your knees into your chest when you get there. You can rock side to side, front and back, whatever feels good for you. So first round is bridge pose. Take your feet to the mat. I would like to use a block just because it helps to keep your knees in proper alignment. So I'm going to shimmy a block in between my knees. If you have one at home, I encourage you to use it, but don't worry if you don't have one. Arms come by the side body. Fingertips are lengthening towards the backs of the heels. So if you can easily touch your feet are too close. If you can't find your feet at all, your feet are too far away. So you should be able to do a little shoulder shimmy to find the backs of the heels. There we go. So pressing the palms down, spread the fingertips nice and wide, squeeze the block if you have it. If you don't have it, please make sure your feet are hips distance apart. Base of your next inhale, exhale, press your feet down into the ground. Hips will start to lift up. Instead of using your glutes, see if you can use your quads. So you're going to dig those heels down a little bit more, quadriceps turning on. Option to stay here. Modification, you could do supported bridge, where you shimmy a block underneath your hips for support. Otherwise, see if you can wrap one arm behind the back, then the next. Interlace the hands behind the back. Knuckles are lengthening towards the heels. Tailbone is lengthening towards the backs of the knees. Broaden across the collarbones. Press the outer edges of the arms down into the ground. Bridge pose. Setu Bandha Sharvangasana. And breathe. So we were here before, right? We were in Dhanurasana. Potentially, if you didn't choose to take it, then maybe you weren't. But similar, right? We were opening up the shoulders, reaching our hands for our feet, towards the feet. Maybe see if the same sensations are coming up or if it's different. Releasing the hands from behind the back, slowly one vertebra at a time, lower those hips down. So take a couple of breaths here before we move on to the second round of bridge pose. When you're ready, remember, do a little shoulder shimmy, find the backs of the feet, press the palms down, spread the fingertips wide, feet hips distance and parallel, base of your next inhale, we exhale, drive the heels down, lift the hips up, relax the glutes, turn on the quads, stay here, come to supported bridge if you need to, otherwise, see if you can wrap one arm behind the back and then the next, interlace the hands behind you, knuckles are reaching forward, Setu Bandha Sharvangasana, bridge pose. And then when you're ready, release the hands from behind you and slowly lower those hips down. Option to stay in bridge pose if you want to move on to upward facing wheel, so Urdhva Dhanurasana. You'll move your hands by the shoulders. Fingertips are going to face the shoulders. So make sure that your arms or your hands are not facing away from the body. Fingertips should be facing towards the shoulder blades. If your fingers are turned out, then it's not going to be good for the shoulders, it's not going to be good for the elbows, it's not going to set you up for the most solid and firm foundation. Otherwise, if you stay in bridge pose, arms get to stay here. Wherever you're at, firmly press the palms down, make sure the ponytail's out of the way, squeeze the block, base of your next exhale, inhale, exhale, press the hands and feet down, lift your hips up, squeeze the block, tailbone to knees, and breathe. Two more breaths. If you're in upward facing wheel, tuck your chin to your chest first. Slowly lower the shoulders down to the mat first. Then we will all slowly lower the hips down, arms by the sides. So why don't we take a few more breaths here before we come up to our last little back bend of the day. So if you need to remind yourself of the intention that you set, come back to your breath. Whatever feels best for you before we do our very last back bend of the day. And then when you're ready, hands by the sides or by the shoulders if you decide to do Urdhva Dhanurasana. Squeeze the block if you've got it, hug the elbows in, base of your next inhale, exhale, press the floor away with your hands and feet. Sechabandha Sharvandasana or Urdhva Dhanurasana, and breathe. Two more breaths. And then if you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, tuck your chin to your chest first. You'll lower the shoulders down, and then we will all slowly lower the hips down one vertebra at a time. If you have a block, you can move it to the side now. Arms out to the sides at a T or a 45-degree angle. Just start to windshield wipe the knees side to side. So gently neutralizing the spine. We'll get a deeper twist in a moment. I just want us to be really gentle with the body and with the back. So stay where you're at. I'm going to walk us through plow pose and shoulder stand. You don't have to do shoulder stand if you don't want to. But I'm quickly going to demo what you would do at home if you need to use a wall to help you get into it. So basically what you'll do is you will scooch your booty towards a wall. You'll take your feet to the wall in front of you at home. Arms will be by the side. You'll basically come up into a bridge pose at the wall. You'll take one arm behind you and then the next. Take your hands to your back. And you'll extend the legs up to the ceiling. That's how you'll get into shoulder stand at home if you want to at a wall. Since you don't have a teacher there, I don't quite encourage it. But if that's something you want to practice, you're welcome to do it. Otherwise, maybe just stay in plow pose, or if shoulder stand is in your practice, you're welcome to take it too. We will go there in just a moment. So you should still be lying on your back, arms to the side. You're still windshield wiping the knees. We're just going to work a little deeper into the twist before we come into our fold. So, excuse me. Find some stillness in the knees. Hug the knees in for a deeper twist. Otherwise, you can leave your feet on the mat. Lower the knees to the left. Anchor the right shoulder down and breathe. And let's bring the knees to center. Exhale, take them over to the other side. So we're going to do plow pose first. We will come out of plow pose, and then you will either do plow pose again, or you will do your variation of shoulder stand. All right, when you're ready, Take your feet center, knees into the chest, arms by the side body, fingertips forward. Listen carefully before we move on. Plow pose and shoulder stand. We're basically putting pressure on the neck and shoulders. Make sure you're not looking around. We want to keep our gaze up to the ceiling to protect our body. Arms by the sides, press the palms down. You'll hug the knees in once, rock it in twice, maybe rock it in 3 times, 4 times, however many times you need to. Bend the elbows, take your hands to your lower back, tailbone to the ceiling, legs straight, feet flexed, plow pose. If you want to, you can do your little shoulder work, interlacing the hands, pressing the outer edges of the arms down. Very similar to when we were in bridge pose, up to you. And again, keep your gaze up to the ceiling. Try not to take your gaze around. Really good lower back opener or strength lengthener, I should say. Might be feeling this in the hamstrings as well. Few more breaths. All right, when you're ready, arms come down to the ground. Slowly, you gotta engage the low belly a little bit to lower yourself down. 1 vertebra at a time. And then you can hug your knees in, rock side to side. So like I said, you can choose to stay in plow pose if you don't want to move, if you don't want to move into shoulder stand. Like I said, modification, you can do this at the wall at home. You'll just scoot your booty towards the wall. Press your feet down to the wall, about hips distance apart. Your fingertips are lengthening forward. You're not touching the wall with your hands. So your butt should not be touching the wall. Your fingers shouldn't be touching the wall. You're going to push the wall away with your feet. Start to lift your hips up. Bend the elbows. You'll take one leg up and then the next. You're pressing the triceps down. That's how you'll get into it if you're at the wall. Otherwise, we will all come to Halasana first. So where we just were. Remember, you can choose to stay in Halasana. You do not have to move on. Arms by the side body. Hug the knees into the chest. You'll rock it in once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, however many times you need to. Coming into Halasana. Hug those elbows in. Press the triceps down. Tailbone is lengthening to the ceiling. We are here for a few breaths. If you don't want to do shoulder stand, remember you stay here in Halasana pose. If Halasana isn't happening for you, you can always just do Paschimottanasana. You're seated on your booty. Fingertips are reaching towards the toes. You're still working the same areas of the body, just not as intensely. Few more breaths. Remember, gazing to the ceiling. We're not gazing around. We've got a lot of pressure on our neck and shoulders. Fifteen more seconds. To come out of it, we're going to come through Halasana plow pose. So start to take your feet overhead, slowly. Arms will come down by the side. Again, engage your lower belly to very slowly lower those hips down, 1 vertebra at a time. So taking your feet down to the mat, we'll come to thread the needle. Crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. If this feels good enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, option to hug the knees into the chest. For a deeper stretch, coming into thread the needle. See if you can shift your hips an inch to the left. It's going to help you feel it a little bit more on the right hip, and breathe. And then leaving the knees into the chest. Open up the arms to a T or a cactus, lower the legs over to the left, and anchor the right shoulder down. then bring the legs to center. You can up there. You'll be in the video, but you can up there. Left ankle over the right thigh. Figure 4. Stay here or hug the legs into the chest. And again, think about shifting your weight an inch to the right so you feel it a little bit more on the left hip. And then leaving the legs where you have them. Open up the arms to a T, lower the legs to the right, and girdle our shoulder down. And then bring in the legs to center. Last little pose of the day. Coming into happy baby, soles of the feet to the ceiling, opening up the hips, rocking side to side. If there's a different little hip opener you'd like to take before we come into Shavasana, you're welcome to take it. And then when you're ready, come to center, hug the knees into the chest, curl your chin to your chest, squeeze every single muscle in the body, and then exhale to release everything down onto the ground. So legs will turn out naturally from the hips, arms out to the sides at about a 45-degree angle, palms to face the ceiling. Excuse me. If you need to come to fallen bridge because you have tension in the lower back, you can take your feet to the mat, a little bit wider than the hips, and inner thighs will come together. That'll give your lower back some support. And then close your eyes. Let's take a nice deep full breath in and pause at the top. Take in a little bit more air and pause. And then open mouth, exhale it all out. Quieting the mind. Quieting the body. And on your next exhale, feel your front body melt into your back body. And on your next exhale, feel your back body melt into the earth. Shavasana, corpse pose. Without changing anything, slowly draw your attention to your breath. Bring some awareness to your body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. And then when you're ready, slowly begin to bend the knees. And then roll to one side and pause. Whatever feels good for you, you can press down on the floor to slowly press yourself up to sit. Head is the last to come up. Find a comfortable seated position for you. Sit tall, bring your hands together at your heart center if that feels right for you. And take a moment to reflect on your intention. What was drawing you back into this space? What was your motivation and your dedication? And see if you can take that with you as you leave your mat. Inhale, sit a little bit taller. Exhale to bow your chin to your chest. And the light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it.